9 foods that will destroy your unhealthy thyroid. Over 200 million people around the world suffer from some form of thyroid disorder, and most don't even know it. That tiny butterfly-shaped gland in your neck controls everything from how fast you burn calories to how sharp your brain feels. In this video, I'll tell you about 9 foods that may destroy an unhealthy thyroid by disrupting hormone balance, nutrient absorption, or glandular activity. Every food listed here has a specific, proven mechanism of interference and should be minimized or eliminated if you have hypothyroidism or autoimmune thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's. Always consult your healthcare provider for personalized guidance. Now, let's get started. 1. Soy-based products. Most people think of soy as a healthy, plant-based alternative, but when your thyroid is already underperforming, soy may quietly sabotage your progress. This isn't just a myth or internet fear-mongering. The way soy behaves inside your body, especially if you're already dealing with an unhealthy thyroid, is far from harmless. Let's start with isoflavones, the most researched compound in soy. These plant chemicals are known as anti-thyroid agents because they directly block an enzyme called thyroid peroxidase. This enzyme is responsible for helping your thyroid create 2 critical hormones, T3 and T4. Without thyroid peroxidase doing its job, your body struggles to attach iodine to tyrosine, the first step in building thyroid hormones. And if you already have low iodine levels, which many Americans unknowingly do, this block becomes even more damaging. Over time, your thyroid can't produce enough hormones, slowing your metabolism and making symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, and cold intolerance even worse. Then come goitrogens, another class of compounds in soy that mess with iodine absorption. Think of iodine like the fuel your thyroid needs. Goitrogens compete with iodine for entry into the gland, making it harder for the thyroid to soak up what little iodine is available. This procedure is particularly dangerous if your thyroid is already unhealthy, as it leads to swelling or enlargement of the gland, known as a goiter. According to PubMed, soy may block thyroid hormone absorption and may increase the medication dose needed in people with low iodine or hypothyroidism. It doesn't harm healthy thyroids, but for an already struggling one, it may make things worse if iodine levels aren't sufficient. 2. Raw cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts are often labeled as superfoods, and yes, they are packed with nutrients, but when eaten raw and in large amounts, they may quietly weaken an already unhealthy thyroid. The first culprit is glucobrasicin, a sulfur-containing compound that breaks down into goitrin during digestion. Goitrin has a unique ability to block the thyroid's uptake of iodine, which is essential for creating thyroid hormones. Iodine acts like the spark that fuels the entire hormone production process, and without enough of it entering the gland, your thyroid is forced to work harder with fewer resources. That means even if you're eating iodine-rich foods or taking supplements, goitrin may still prevent your thyroid from making use of it, further slowing down hormone output. Thiocyanate, a byproduct of decomposing these vegetables, is another harmful component. Thiocyanate competes with iodine at the cellular level, making it harder for the thyroid gland to absorb what it needs. In people with already low thyroid function, this competition becomes a major issue. The gland is essentially starved of fuel, and the effects show up quickly. Symptoms include fatigue, sluggish metabolism, and increased sensitivity to cold that may worsen over time. According to research, women with low iodine intake who ate high amounts of cruciferous vegetables had a significantly higher risk of thyroid cancer. These vegetables release goitrogens that block iodine use, and when iodine is already low, they may push the thyroid into dysfunction or disease. 3. Refined sugar. You might crave that sugary snack for a quick energy boost, but when your thyroid is already struggling, refined sugar does more than just spike your blood glucose. It quietly chips away at your gland's ability to function. While sugar itself doesn't directly attack the thyroid, It sets off a chain reaction inside the body that creates the perfect storm for thyroid dysfunction. The fact that refined sugar causes chronic inflammation is one of the main issues. Every time you consume sugary foods like pastries, soda, or candy, your body reacts with an inflammatory response. This leads to elevated cytokines, small proteins that may interfere with thyroid hormone signaling. When your cells are inflamed, they become less responsive to hormones like T3, the active thyroid hormone. So even if your thyroid is making enough hormone or you're taking medication, your body might not use it effectively. That cellular resistance keeps you tired, foggy, and constantly fighting weight gain, no matter how carefully you manage your calories. Moreover, harmful compounds known as advanced glycation end products are produced when sugar molecules bind to proteins or lipids in the body. These advanced glycation end products build up in tissues and organs, including the thyroid, and lead to oxidative stress. When oxidative stress takes over, it damages thyroid cells, disrupts enzyme function, and may even trigger autoimmunity in vulnerable individuals. According to the Journal of Clinical Medicine Research, 76% of thyroid cancer patients had high artificial sweetener intake compared to 24% of those with benign nodules. Just 4 grams daily over 5 years was linked to thyroid cancer, making these sweeteners a serious risk for an already unhealthy thyroid. 4. Gluten. For someone with an unhealthy thyroid, gluten introduces a dangerous mix of immune confusion, nutrient loss, and chronic inflammation that quietly pushes the gland into deeper dysfunction. This is especially serious for people dealing with autoimmune thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's, where the immune system is already attacking the thyroid. Gliadin, a gluten protein that structurally resembles thyroid tissue, is one of the most harmful components. When someone with thyroid autoimmunity eats gluten, the immune system targets gliadin and ends up accidentally attacking the thyroid as well, a process known as molecular mimicry. This immune misfire increases the rate of thyroid cell destruction, gradually reducing hormone output and worsening symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, and weight gain. Additionally, there's phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that's present in a lot of grains that contain gluten, such as barley and wheat. Phytic acid binds to essential minerals, especially zinc and selenium, that are critical for thyroid hormone production and conversion. Without enough of these nutrients, the thyroid can't make T3 and T4 efficiently, and enzyme function starts to slow down. That leads to even greater fatigue, mood imbalances, and poor metabolic function. According to Frontiers in Endocrinology, gluten may worsen thyroid inflammation in people with Hashimoto's and gluten-related conditions. A gluten-free diet led to lower TSH and thyroid antibodies while boosting FT4 levels, but showing that gluten may intensify autoimmune activity and hormone imbalance in an already unhealthy thyroid. 5. Highly processed foods. Most people reach for processed foods because they're quick, cheap, and comforting. But if your thyroid is already unhealthy, these ultra-processed choices might be digging an even deeper hole. It's not just about empty calories or weight gain. Highly processed foods disrupt critical hormone pathways, strip your body of essential nutrients, and create an inflammatory environment that may completely overwhelm a struggling thyroid. A major issue starts with artificial preservatives like BHA and BHT, commonly added to packaged snacks, frozen meals, and cereals to extend shelf life. These synthetic chemicals have been shown to interfere with hormone function by disrupting the normal signaling between the brain and the thyroid gland. When that communication breaks down, your thyroid gets the wrong messages, or none at all, leading to unstable levels of TSH and reduced production of thyroid hormones. Over time, this may leave your body stuck in a low-energy state, making it harder to stay mentally sharp or physically active. Hydrogenated oils, which are present in processed foods like chips, margarine, and baked goods, constitute the third harmful component. These oils contain trans fats, which are known to trigger systemic inflammation and weaken the immune system's ability to regulate itself. Chronic inflammation doesn't just affect the joints or skin. It alters how your body converts T4 to T3 and interferes with how cells respond to thyroid hormones. Even small amounts of trans fats may have a big impact, especially in someone whose thyroid is already under pressure from autoimmunity or nutrient deficiencies. 6. Refined vegetable oils. Refined vegetable oils like canola, soybean, corn, and sunflower oil go through heavy industrial processing that strips away nutrients and leaves behind compounds that trigger inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and cellular damage. For an unhealthy thyroid, this creates the perfect storm, where every drop you consume silently pushes your gland further into dysfunction. The incredibly high levels of omega-6 in these oils are a major cause for alarm. While your body does need some omega-6 fats, the problem arises when there's too much of it compared to omega-3s. This imbalance drives chronic inflammation throughout the body, and the thyroid gland is especially vulnerable. Inflammation around the thyroid reduces its ability to absorb iodine and slows down the conversion of T4 into the active T3 hormone. When this conversion is impaired, your metabolism grinds down, fatigue deepens, and it becomes harder to regulate body temperature and weight. The presence of chemical residues, such as hexane, a solvent derived from petroleum commonly used to extract oil from seeds, is another significant concern. Trace amounts of hexane may remain in the final product, and although small, repeated exposure adds up. Hexane and similar solvents are classified as neurotoxic and endocrine disrupting, meaning they may interfere with your brain's ability to signal the thyroid gland properly. When that feedback loop between the brain and thyroid is compromised, hormone output becomes erratic. It leaves you more vulnerable to symptoms like depression, poor concentration, and hair thinning. According to ResearchGate, long-term exposure to toxins like heavy metals, often found in refined oils, disrupts thyroid hormones, especially T4 and TSH. These oils also fuel chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, making it harder for an already weak thyroid to produce or convert hormones properly. 7. Excessive caffeine. You might love that morning coffee for the energy boost it gives, but for people with an unhealthy thyroid, those extra cups of coffee, energy drinks, or pre-workouts may slowly chip away at the very systems trying to heal you. The primary concern revolves around the mechanism by which caffeine triggers the adrenal glands to secrete cortisol, the primary stress hormone in the human body. When cortisol levels spike frequently, your hypothalamus and pituitary gland begin to downregulate their signals to the thyroid, lowering production of thyroid-stimulating hormone. This means your thyroid gets less direction and becomes sluggish, producing fewer hormones even when your body needs them most. Over time, that stress-induced feedback loop may leave you feeling more exhausted, anxious, and hormonally imbalanced than before. Caffeine also hinders the absorption of thyroid medication, which is a negative factor. For people taking levothyroxine or other thyroid hormone replacements, caffeine may block the absorption of these medications if taken too close together. That means even if you're doing everything right, taking your dose, eating healthy, and following a routine, the caffeine you drink could be stopping your body from actually benefiting from treatment. The result is hormone levels stay low, symptoms linger, and your recovery stalls without you realizing the connection. According to BMC, in metabolically unhealthy people, low caffeine raised TSH, moderate lowered it, but high doses had no benefit, but disrupting thyroid hormone balance and worsening dysfunction. 8. Farmed fish. Farmed fish, especially varieties like tilapia and Atlantic salmon, may actually do more harm than good if your thyroid is already struggling. What's alarming isn't just what's missing from farmed fish, like natural omega-3s, but what gets added in during the farming process. Things that may quietly sabotage your thyroid hormone balance and long-term recovery without showing obvious symptoms right away. Toxins known as polychlorinated biphenyls accumulate in farmed fish as a result of contaminated feed and inefficient farming methods. This is a major cause for concern. PCBs act as endocrine disruptors, which means they interfere directly with your body's hormone systems. For your thyroid, That disruption may block hormone receptors and impair the transport of T3 and T4 throughout the body. So, even if your gland is producing hormones, your cells can't respond the way they should. This causes symptoms like fatigue, cold hands, dry skin, and even depression to worsen or become more persistent over time. According to PubMed, animal studies show that PCBs, often found in farmed fish, disrupt thyroid hormone balance. Another harmful component is mercury, which tends to build up in certain farmed fish due to environmental contamination and feed sources. Mercury doesn't just sit idly in your system. It binds to selenium, a trace mineral your thyroid depends on to convert inactive T4 into the active T3 hormone. When mercury hogs up selenium, your thyroid loses access to a vital cofactor and hormone conversion slows down. That means less active hormone reaches your cells, even when your blood levels might look normal. Over time, this creates a disconnect between lab results and how you actually feel, making diagnosis and treatment trickier. 9. Tap water. Tap water in many parts of the country contains chemical additives that, while meant to disinfect and protect public health, may seriously interfere with your thyroid's ability to function. The damage doesn't come from water itself, but from the invisible elements in it that block iodine, disrupt hormone signals, and stress your body from the inside out. People often add fluoride to their municipal water supply in an effort to reduce the prevalence of tooth decay, and this is one of the main culprits. What most people don't know is that fluoride belongs to the same chemical group as iodine, which your thyroid absolutely needs to make hormones. Because of their similar structure, fluoride competes with iodine in the body, often displacing it in thyroid tissue. When that happens, your gland struggles to make enough T3 and T4, even if you're getting iodine through food or supplements. This silent replacement may leave you feeling drained, mentally sluggish, and stuck in a cycle of low metabolism without any clear explanation. According to Science Direct, drinking water with fluoride above 2.5 milligrams per liter raises TSH levels and disrupts thyroid hormone balance. This effect is more harmful in people with low iodine or existing thyroid issues, potentially worsening hypothyroidism and slowing metabolism. Agricultural runoff and industrial waste frequently contain the contaminant perchlorate, which poses another threat. Perchlorate is especially toxic to the thyroid because it blocks the sodium iodide symporter, a protein that actively pumps iodine into the thyroid gland. Without this pump working efficiently, iodine can't enter the thyroid at all, shutting down the hormone production process at its earliest stage. This effect is particularly harmful for people with already compromised thyroid function, as even small doses of perchlorate may reduce hormone output and worsen the symptoms you're trying so hard to manage. Moving on, let's discuss 4 sneaky reasons why your thyroid might be getting damaged. If you've been feeling tired, moody, gaining weight for no reason, or your hair just doesn't feel like it used to, your thyroid could be under attack. I've seen how easily thyroid health can spiral without you even realizing it. You might be doing all the right things, but small, everyday habits or hidden issues could be slowly damaging your thyroid. In this video, I'll walk you through 4 surprising reasons why your thyroid might be getting hurt. 1. Chronic stress is silently sabotaging your hormones. When you're under stress, your body floods with cortisol. That hormone doesn't just affect your mood. It directly suppresses your thyroid function. High cortisol levels reduce the conversion of T4 to the active T3 hormone and make your cells resistant to thyroid signals. Over time, this creates fatigue, brain fog, and sluggish metabolism. 2. You're low in key minerals like selenium and iodine. Your thyroid needs specific nutrients to function. Iodine helps produce thyroid hormones, and selenium helps activate them. Without enough of these, your thyroid slows down. This deficiency can even trigger autoimmune thyroid diseases like Hashimoto's. 3. Your gut health is out of balance. Believe it or not, your gut and thyroid are deeply connected. If you've got bloating, constipation, or food sensitivities, it may signal a leaky gut. That opens the door for immune reactions that attack your thyroid. Plus, a damaged gut makes it harder to absorb thyroid-supportive nutrients. 4. You're overexposed to endocrine disruptors. From plastic containers to chemical-laden skincare, toxins like BPA and parabens mimic hormones in your body. They confuse your thyroid, disrupt TSH signaling, and may even trigger autoimmunity. The thyroid is a delicate yet powerful gland that affects nearly every aspect of your metabolism, mood, and energy. When it's already compromised, even seemingly healthy foods like kale or soy may become problematic. Understanding the biological impact of each food group is crucial to giving your thyroid the support it needs. If you're living with hypothyroidism or an autoimmune thyroid condition, I will suggest you consider eliminating or minimizing these foods in consultation with a healthcare professional. Small dietary changes, backed by the right knowledge, may make a significant difference in how you feel each day. In this amazing video, we learned about all the foods that destroy your unhealthy thyroid. But did you know that there are other foods in your pantry that may be as impactful? Want to find out more? Watch 10 foods that may damage your unhealthy kidneys. Or watch 2 boiled eggs a day will do this to your body. Watch one, or even better, watch both. What other foods do you think are bad for the thyroid? Let us know in the comments below.